What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Kofi Kingston, aka 1/3 of the New Day. You're not gonna say it with me, sir? Yeah, come on, you better participate. Let's try it again. 1/3 of the New Day, and you are watching The Young and the Wrestlers. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome to the Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast show that takes a look at the soap opera nature of the WWE. So we look at the storylines, the characters, and it's cool. We just mark out. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan, alongside...
We're back like Aleister Black. I'm Jem.
I forgot that he came back this week. This, as we said, is our weekly WWE TV in review. We look at Raw, at SmackDown, and it comes at you every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. when podcast services 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, you can at facebook.com/group/thepopcultures, as well as Twitter, Instagram, Discord. All those links are in the down below area. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, you can head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where you can watch us record this show live, enter the chat, and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this wrestling pod. If you are on iTunes, your 5-star rating and a written review. If it's on the YouTubes, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. We endeavor to answer every single comment. And if you want to support us financially, you can. Patreon.com/thepopcultures, where you can buy shirts and other supported shit. Wait, with our logos on it. Another shit. I don't know. I lost my own train of thought there. And stuff with our stuff on it. All right, cool. Hey, Jem, how you doing?
Good, and how are you?
Apparently, I'm fucked, but other than that, I'm pretty good. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's news?
Yeah, not much, man. I am pleasantly surprised at how exciting this week's shows were.
Really? I say from full disclosure, everyone, I've not watched all of Raw this week. I will be relying very heavily on Jem. Reason being, it's been distracted. I've been doing other things. And it's just one of those things I'm like, oh, fuck, it's Wednesday, and I've not watched Raw yet. All right, cool. Jem. It worked out well. And I've been busy spending my money on AEW action figures. So there's that.
Oh, yeah. Did you see the Battle of the Joshes this week? Where a young 5-year-old Josh won, and they gave him a Burger King crown and an AEW belt.
It was awesome. But yeah,
they gave him an AEW belt.
So it sucks to co-founder of the Pop Culture is Josh Saunders. He is no longer Josh. He is just Saunders now. He got riddled. But yes, I picked up John Moxley. I picked up MJF.
And a belt. The Burberry.
MJF with his own Burberry scarf, and Penta, of course, because Penta looks mad.
Oh, hell yeah!
So shout out to Geelong Toy World for coming through with the goods. Really appreciate it.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, that's been my impulse purchase for the time. So I'm happy with that.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. But either way, we're not here to talk about AEW, sadly. Aww. In this way, we're talking about WWE. Jem, we have titled this episode, "The Rules Don't Apply to Charlotte Flair." Is that a good place to start?
I'd say so, yeah.
So
obviously on Raw, we see a very suspect Sonya Deville open a back door to Charlotte Flair. And let's head into the building. Now, last week, Charlotte Flair was suspended indefinitely and fined, what was it, like $100,000?
100,000 American, not dollary dues.
Yeah, American
freedom
buckaroonies.
Coin. I don't know what they use in America.
And basically, Charlotte came to the ring with Sonya Deville, and was forced to say sorry to Eddie, the referee, for the way she treated him last week. And he said something along the lines of, "I'm sorry, Charlotte, if I had been paying attention, you would have won the match." And then she goes, wait, he just admitted fault. He has to say sorry to me now because I'm the queen. So he apologizes. And then suddenly Charlotte is reinstated and competing in a match later in the evening. Because the rules don't apply to Charlotte
Flair. The rules do not apply to Charlotte Flair. Now, the thing that when we say, because the rules are still there, as said, but they have been intentionally bent and communicated whatever the hell by a sneaky Sonya Deville, who, I might add, for the first time that I recall, has been officially confirmed as an official in this week's episode. They gave her by name WWE official Sonya Deville. So previously she was probably just an intern, but now she's got the gig.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's good. I like it. I'm down.
What would the benefit of Sonya to do the dirty be?
I don't know. What's best for business, I guess. Charlotte Flair currently is best for business.
Yeah, look, it's the 13-time champ. You know, like, she's looking hot as hell, as you pointed out on Twitter today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Looking fit as a
She's looking
fiddle.
the best she ever has.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the only person who really seems like viable competition for Rhea Ripley at the moment is Charlotte.
Yeah, but there is that concern. We've seen it. We saw it at WrestleMania last year, and Charlotte won. So, granted, don't get me wrong, I'm very much happy. I'd be happy to see that at WrestleMania Backlash. Well, you know, Charlotte getting one over on Rippers. Rippers getting one over on Charlotte. My bad, got it backwards. You know.
You never know.
But is that what it's alluding to? Who does she have a match with later?
Well, later she ends up having a match with Mandy Rose. So obviously there's that big old kerfuffle with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke embarrassing Nia Jax. And they did so this week by throwing water on Shayna Baszler. Jax slipped and fell on her face. And then Sonya Deville was like, "What are you, a child? Like, grow up." Fully just digging into Mandy Rose, like, you know, when she left, which was pretty cool. That is some good long-term storytelling. But yeah, she's like, "Well, because you were acting like a child, like, here's your punishment. You're facing Charlotte Flair tonight." So it was Mandy Rose.
Interesting.
Who obviously got it handed to her, like, as to be expected.
As to be expected. I imagine she mooches the living shit out of her.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty obvious that Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bleedingly obvious.
Cool. So there's not even much to discuss because it's just so on the nose that that's where it's going.
Yeah, and the hard thing is they've been trying to peg Rhea as the heel, and they're putting heel against heel, and it's kind of like it's really dead in the excitement of it.
Yeah, it really feels like it really feels like they're not entirely sure where this narrative is going to go or where it should go.
Yeah. It's an odd one. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it is what it is. What else? Okay, I have to talk about this because I am so freaking excited.
All right, go.
We saw the formation of RK Bro.
I'm just going to put it out there. Hi, any WWE people that are watching this after last week. You know, we titled it, "We Want Team RKO, RK Bro." You made it happen from watching us is the only explanation. And I'd really like to thank you.
You're welcome for the idea.
You're welcome. I know Matt Riddle mentioned it, and we were like, we want it to happen. And then they were like, look, these two random people from Australia are feeling it. I think we should make it happen. And they did.
Yeah. This whole segment was just hilarity in itself. Like, hearing Riddle say the words about Randy Orton, I smashed him like a sexy little mongoose.
Yeah.
It's the single most petrifying and sexy sentence I think I've ever heard. I don't know why.
Like, it's doing things, but I'm not sure.
A mongoose.
Yeah.
It was a weird arousal. But Randy's like, you know, you've kind of earned my respect after last week, and you did have a name for us, which is kind of a ring to it. So why don't we do like a trial run tonight?
Okay.
And they end up having a match with Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. And look, Alexander makes a good point. He's yelling to Matt Riddle at the start of the match, "You can't trust him, bro. You know you can't trust him," which is fair.
Yeah, but the same can be said for Cedric Alexander. Like, didn't he do dirties?
That's true.
Recently, like, that's the pot calling the kettle a pot.
That's true. Yeah, exactly it. And yeah, in the end, really good teamwork resulted in a win to Team RK Bro, and I was down for it. I'm down for it. I want to see this happen.
I do like it. I obviously have not seen this match specifically. I love the idea. I love that we willed it into existence. I love that it's physically making you excited. I can see you bouncing in your seat. You're getting excited. You're all jittery. You're like a child. It could be the red drink that you are drinking. Either way, it's either sugar high mixed with excitement for RK Bro.
Yeah. Mainly the excitement. That's watermelon, apple, and strawberry juice.
So where do you see the potential for RK Bro, Jem?
I honestly I could see them in the tag team picture. I think they're one of those tag teams that kind of gets together that's just going to work. I think it's going to really work really well. And I think they're going to sort of I think what they need is something fresh and new to the tag team division. And I'd like to see them work their way up to a title shot. I think that's what they need right now. Because with Raw at the moment, they've got
AJ and Omar the champions, and we haven't seen them since Mania.
Exactly. That's my point. I forgot who had the belts because it's so insignificant right now. So I think it's a much needed thing, because obviously the only other real people we've got there are Miz and Morrison, who are tied up with Elias and Jackson Riker and Damian Priest and the New Day.
So there's a New Day, there's two teams. But they're busy.
That's 3 tags. Viking
Raiders, what are they doing?
Yeah. Viking Raiders are just beating the shit out of people, which obviously the smarts of Randy Orton and smarts of I'd call them Archer smarts of Riddle. I could see them going through the Viking Raiders somehow and then getting into that title picture with AJ and Omar.
There's obviously Cedric in that as well. So there's 5, and 3 of them are already booked in other storylines. So it is handy to have a new team on the field. But then again, we also brought in the introduction of the team last week, which is Mace and T-Bar, which we'll probably get to in a little bit.
Yes.
But so RK Bro is giving me a lot of the feels of the Broserweights from NXT when it was Pete Dunne and the same straight man, funny man sort of feel.
Oh yeah.
Which is not a bad thing, because the Broserweights was brilliant. But having Randy just be that straight dude while Matt Riddle's weirdo on a scooter. Do you reckon they can replicate that?
Yeah. I reckon so, yeah, because Randy's pretty moldable like that. He can sort of do it all.
And he's also not got a whole lot going on.
He's having a bit of fun with it. Yeah, and it looks like he's having a bit of fun with it. Why not have fun while you're at work? I'm down for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it certainly has potential to be something mad. The potential.
Oh, yeah.
But speaking of tag teams, as we didn't mention, Mace and T-Bar, they ended the show last week. They opened the show this week because apparently we just can't get enough of X Retribution. Rextribution.
Yeah, it's fine. It was another tag team match of Mace and T-Bar versus Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre, but it didn't exactly pan out that way because Braun and Drew got into it. And Braun was like, "Why didn't you thank me?" And Drew's like, "I didn't need your help." And it's like, "Yeah, well, I'm going to show you how much you did need my help." And goes storming out and changes the match to a 2-on-1 handicap match, similar to last week, which Mace and T-Bar do the same thing, stomp a mud hole, and then Drew McIntyre has to come out, and then it's a tag team match again, and it's basically just recycling old media.
I love constant repetition. It's where's all the other wrestlers? Where's Matt Hardy right now? Sorry, where's Jeff Hardy, by the way? Matt Hardy's a whole different company. Where's Jeff Hardy? Yeah. You know what I mean? There are people that are actually just straight up missing. Why?
Yeah.
It's like they're working on a quarter of the roster that they have.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they did let some people go, but they didn't fire the lot of them. Where are the other people?
Yeah, exactly right. It's a weird situation to be in, because they're just really recycling the same thing. It's like, oh, Mason T-Bar, but this time they're wearing face paint, not face masks. Bloody T-Bar looking like Heidenreich crossed with one of the Road Warriors. It's ridiculous. And they're not even that good. It's the same thing we saw last week. I can't handle the recycling.
Yeah, this is all building up to finding a way to get Braun into the title picture. So he comes out and he gets all up in the face of old fucking what's his name? Who's the ref?
Oh,
Adam Pearce.
crap.
I almost said Adam Copeland, but that's Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets in the face of Adam Pearce, and he's all like, I didn't get pinned. Fucking Randy got pinned. Drew won. Randy lost. I didn't. I won in. I'm going to get a match tonight with Braun after he runs into Drew's face.
Yeah.
No, okay, sure.
Yeah. Basically, Braun's saying, like, if I win this match, I want into the WrestleMania Backlash match. And Adam Pearce is like, sure, I'll make it happen. And Bobby Lashley and MVP obviously come out sucking because they're like, we need to be consulted. It's my championship, rah, rah, rah. But yeah, basically due to a multitude of interruptions, being that from MVP, Bobby Lashley, Mace, and Thibaut, Braun Strowman does end up getting a win, which means he is added to the WrestleMania Backlash match.
Woo.
So it's now a triple threat match. Yeah, not a fan, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Like, I appreciate we're not getting a WrestleMania rematch in the full sense of the word. We're not just getting Bobby versus Drew again. But
yeah,
why Braun? Is the idea it's two big units against Drew? But Drew's also a big unit. Is Braun the one that they want? Like, who do they want us to root for in this scenario? Is it Drew?
No,
I guess it's Drew.
Hard.
Because, like, Braun just came off a real, like, a massive babyface storyline with Shane. So, is he the one we wanted to go for? Like, Drew's face right now, too. Lashley is not, obviously. Like, where do they want where do they want us to put our investment? I don't get it. Am I?
Yeah, exactly right.
Am I too dumb for WWE? Or am I too smart for WWE? I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think we're probably a bit too smart for it, to be honest. I think it's one of those situations where they're just like, I don't know, this will work.
Yeah, like, because you can very clearly tell that they're not putting too much forethought in it, right? Of where it's going to go, and like it's the idea of like because when you're going from pay-per-view to pay-per-view, like that's kind of their entire plan right now, right? Like, but at least it's not SmackDown, right? Look, this week's SmackDown, dope, loved it, absolutely loved it, especially the opening stuff we'll get to right now because I want to talk about it because I want to talk about something positive, but
let's do it.
SmackDown is essentially just, all the feuds that you had, they're still going. And they're good.
Yeah. Yes.
Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. Properly.
Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. So Cesaro's in the ring. Obviously, he wants an answer from Roman Reigns, especially after last week and all the stuff that's gone down. He immediately gets interrupted by Seth Rollins, who's like, you should be thanking me. I elevated you from here to here. And then Jey Uso comes out and he starts spitting shit. And then Daniel Bryan ends up coming out. And Daniel Bryan just rips the realest things I have ever heard on the microphone ever. Talking about how Cesaro deserves this, how he's never worked so hard, how he deserves an answer from Roman Reigns. Absolutely just hyping the hell out of Cesaro. And then like I think one of my favorite things is like Daniel Bryan goes, oh, and Jey Uso, you're out here because I don't know, probably because Roman Reigns told you to be out here. And there's just like basically.
See, what I loved about this whole exchange, right, for at least the first 15, 20 minutes, maybe even half an hour, I forget how long this whole segment went down for. However, all of it just felt so organic and real. It didn't feel scripted. Like it felt like it felt like they were given dot points and they came out and just went go ham. And I loved it.
Yeah.
It had this just sense of freedom. Like they were just like given. They essentially went, "You got the floor, go."
Yeah, and they absolutely took the ball and ran with it. But eventually, Roman Reigns does come out, and the best he can do is call Cesaro and Daniel Bryan a variation of loser. And then, they end up getting into a tag team match, which is to be expected the way it was going. And Seth Rollins ends up deciding he's just bigger than the match and just walks out midway through, causing Daniel Bryan and Cesaro to get the win.
See, this is another thing that I'm absolutely loving on SmackDown, especially right now, from what I saw here. One of the things I constantly critique WWE over is their inability to mesh storylines. What was this match?
Yeah.
This match was multiple storylines coming together, and it felt good because there's what they continue to do is they're like, well, you're in this storyline with X, therefore that's the only person you deal with. That's the only person you talk to. You are completely isolated from everybody else. Where if you look at other promotions, they're having stories intermingle. People are coming and going. You know, like there is this real sense of there is a complete roster. Like just you know, the bad guys are with the bad guys. They ain't just solo bad guys. Like, hey, you're an asshole too. Let's team up for a thing. And that's what we saw here with Jay and Seth, right? Like up until this very match, there was no allegiances between like the tribal chief and his council or whatever, and Seth, except from like Shield stuff back in the day. But they've like that's not where they're at right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's been nothing. Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, they've kind of had a little bit of face stuff going on, and but like having them come together makes sense. I loved this. This whole opening bit,
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And what it leads into as well, which I was not expecting at all. So throughout the night, obviously, Cesaro and Daniel Bryan are just ripping into Roman Reigns, who's not coming out to save Jey Uso, who gets thrown around a bajillion times. And Daniel backstage runs into Adam Pearce and is like, you need to get Cesaro, like give Cesaro this opportunity. And he's like, oh, look, I'll try. And Daniel Bryan goes, do more than try. And then the end of the night, obviously they come to the ring, they're waiting for Roman Reigns, who does come out. And he goes like, who are you? Like, Cesaro, like you can't just come up here and challenge me. I'm the tribal chief. I'm the leader. I make the challenges and I challenge you, Daniel Bryan. Not expecting that. Cesaro is obviously like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you need to take this opportunity, and it's for next week for the title on SmackDown. He's like, you've got to take this opportunity. However, go on.
Loser leaves company.
Not
just
not
Daniel.
quite.
If Daniel loses, he's out.
If Daniel Bryan loses, he is to leave the company, which we have been speculating for the long time that he would be.
Yep.
So this is just another one of those. They're listening to us.
It's interesting to have it happen. Yeah, because like we've discussed how like it's almost all Roman's title defenses have had some sort of stipulation, and I've argued for the longest time that the most.
Yes.
The biggest and best stipulation you can do is loser leaves the company, loser gets fired, loser retires. One of the two, right? And that felt to me that was the build up to WrestleMania. It should have been Daniel Bryan versus Roman, loser leaves, loser retires, because Daniel's looking like he's ready to retire. Edge could have been in the same position. I would think Edge would have been comfortable if he did it as well. However, apparently he's still got shows on his contract, so he's not out. But Daniel's looking. It's looking like he's got time. It's interesting that it might happen on a SmackDown, not a pay-per-view, a SmackDown.
A SmackDown,
which leads me to believe something shonky might happen.
And
then they'll build it up to maybe Backlash, but I also don't see him I don't see him retiring in a Backlash. That also seems a bit.
Yeah. No, I think maybe there might be a significance to the SmackDown, and that's why he could be choosing that one for this match.
Possibly.
I don't know. I'd have to do some research into it. I'm not quite sure if there's any significant dates regarding it.
I'm not thinking of any. Dash in the chat asks, ends in a DQ. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it's a DQ win to Bryan. Whether someone comes in and decks Bryan, whether it be, I guess you've mentioned Edge in the chat, could be Edge. Edge could come in and just kick the shit out of Bryan. Could be Seth. Tying into what happened this week, Seth could come in and just kick the shit out of Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, get Seth in that picture. That would be Healy versus Healy, but I'm fine. I'm okay with that. Because I think Seth versus Roman is exciting. I know people will want to see that. Everyone gets real hard for any of the Shield versus Shield stuff.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's something that could be, and then that could build to later. Like maybe that match is still coming, and it's like, well, I ought to deal with Seth, and then I'm coming for you, and then that might be something at one of the big four instead of Backlash.
Yeah.
However, it depends if Daniel Bryan just wants to head out or not. Like that's also a big part of it too.
Yeah, exactly right.
Either way, I'm down for it. This whole Roman Reigns thing, since his return, I have been such a fan of. I've been really enjoying it.
You've been gobbling it up.
Yeah. I have been gobbling all that Roman Reigns. It's been amazing.
All of the big dogs. We obviously saw, as I spoke about at the very start of this episode, Aleister Black.
Yes, Aleister Black is back. He's back in there. He's back! So they've continued, weirdly, the one thing that didn't really land for him, which is him just sitting in a room talking. But they gave him a book.
Being cryptic.
And it looked like it had said Dark Order on the front of it, and that made me chuckle. But it didn't. It's the Dark Father. So it's this interesting story about how he has the power of the dragon in him. The father was trying to keep repressed originally, and then release it. And I don't
know, but what a cult is, I'm joining it.
I got a little bit lost.
I will follow him like people follow Jared Leto.
I don't know. The aviators kind of throw me. I'm very anti-aviators.
Nah.
Really?
No, I'm down for it. I am 110% down for it.
Those aviators always give me sex offender vibes. And I'm not comfortable with Aleister Black being a sex offender.
Oh, I am comfortable with Aleister Black and his cult, and I will gladly join it.
Well, I hope this leads to something cool, which I have a feeling that it will.
I'm hoping so too.
Yeah, I certainly hope so, because we haven't seen Aleister Black in a while.
Exactly right.
Whether it's just me having somebody. So whether it's just me having deja vu, I feel I've heard this before, like the repressed dragon in a thing, in a person.
Is
it something that Black said previously in these little promos, or am I just having like?
Not that I'm aware of. I think you.
Am I having a small stroke? Like, could be either.
I think you might be. I don't remember anything of the type.
Could be all these blood clots from vaccinations.
I just remember very convoluted stories that went nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, one thing that Aleister Black being back is good for is hopefully opening up some more contenders for the Intercontinental Championship, because I am sick to fucking death of seeing Apollo Crews and Big E.
Oh, I got so fucking mad when I was watching this. Right, so Apollo Crews is like, nah, mate, no. Why does Big E get a rematch? Big E doesn't deserve a rematch. I'm like, listen here, motherfucker. You had 7 of the pricks. You back the fuck off. You didn't even win this one by yourself, you piece of shit. This entire run that you've had with Big E, there are 2 matches that you won in that you technically didn't win. You won with assistance or DQ. You are shit. You suck. You should not be involved in the Intercontinental picture. Oh, Big E doesn't deserve a rematch. Big E deserves to kick you in the fucking asshole. You know that big giant nail the dick grabber has? You're going to get penetrated by it. That's what should happen. It should be fucking Apollo won a pole match. That pole specifically. Which end? Up to you. There we go. That's what should happen.
God.
Yeah. That's what needs to happen, because I am not happy with and like, as I said, his storyline feels so exceptionally racist, even though both of them are Nigerian. It still feels weird. As a white guy, I can't make that call, but...
Call him Apollo?
Apollo. That's his character rebrand, not him being some Nigerian prince that wants to see, your bank accounts or whatever. But, like, instead, Apollo. That's what it has to be.
All right, let's talk back to Raw for a little bit, and let's have a chat.
You don't have any thoughts? You're gonna let me rant and then go from there?
Sorry, I completely.
You have any thoughts on Apollo? Or you're just gonna let me rant and that's it? Just keep it along.
No, I really enjoyed your rant. I can't compete with that, so I'm just gonna let's keep moving. We we did see another United States Championship, I guess, open challenge. However, Sheamus did not want to make this a title match. He's like, oh, anybody can take me on, but it's not a title match. And Humberto Carrillo stupidly came out again, and he got his ass kicked, but then he like kicked ass. And I'm kind of like, is this the best they have for Sheamus
I guess
right now?
this once maybe they're just killing time till fucking big old Keith comes back. Because like, where's Keith at? Where Keith?
That's true.
Where's Keith?
That's true. Keith.
Where's Keith? Well, he's over there. I have a Keith action figure now. I've bought a lot of action figures in the last 2 weeks. I haven't bought any in actual years, and I was like, I'm breaking my rules, and I did. And I bought Becky, and I bought Keith.
Hey, better now than never.
Yeah, it's good times.
Love it.
Where's
Love
Keith?
it. Love it. Yeah, I did see the Becky and the Keith.
Where's Keith?
Good work.
But cool. Carrillo's getting screen time again. He was part of that the loser locker room that had to like murder Drew McIntyre a couple weeks ago. So at least he's on an up and up.
I mean, he can grow facial hair. Good on him. I thought
Cool.
he was
He looks
bald,
trimmer.
and
He looks a little bit more jacked. Is all I'm saying. He was a
Yeah,
bit
he
jacked.
definitely looks more lean for sure.
Yeah.
Looking very lean. What else do
No,
we
I got
have?
no puns. I
We
was trying to think
obviously
of something
saw
dumb
another
for his
one.
name about being thin, but I got nothing.
No. Yeah, we saw a little promo from Alexa Bliss again, basically just putting the women's locker room on notice regarding like the craziness of Lily or whatever.
What is she? Is she
Next,
some sort of
Lily
debt
made it
collector? Why is she putting out a second notice? Like the first notice is sufficient.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, one notice is enough. Everyone knows now. Unless you're
Yeah.
constantly, unless you're her phone bill and that you haven't paid it yet. It's the only reason she should be notifying you twice.
Yeah.
Just do something, Alexa. Do something. Fuck up Charlotte Flair. That would be funny.
Oh, right.
Why not?
Wait.
Why not? Because, Charlotte came in and put every woman on notice. That includes Alexa. Alexa, get all fucking freaky
Yeah.
with Charlotte Flair. And then use some supernatural stuff. You know what I'm saying? Bang. Winky face. But like,
That'd be cool.
yeah.
I'm down for it.
That's what I want to see. Tall woman, small woman. That'd be funny. Go ahead. Do that. Go.
Yeah. And then lastly on Raw was the 6 women tag match. It was essentially champions versus challengers in that it was the team of Asuka, Lana, Naomi versus Rhea Ripley, Shayna, and Nia.
So they're pushing her as heel still. Rippers.
Yeah. Yeah, they sure are. Reginald was there this time and caused a distraction.
Oh, good.
causing
Reggie's
a
back.
loss
What's up,
again.
Reg? Is he going to simp for Rippers
Yeah.
now too? Because that we can relate to, of course. That's very, but
Yeah.
what's going on?
But yeah, so obviously, as mentioned during this match, that whole Dana and Mandy throwing water and embarrassing Nia Jax further thing happened. Ultimately, the champions do get the win. I believe Rhea Rippers gets the pin on Lana, I think it was.
Makes sense.
Hey?
Makes sense.
Yeah, so yeah, the big old 1, 2, 3. I guess this was just filler. Like, I don't think it really does anything for the champions in that respect. So, I don't know. But it was a good match to watch.
Yeah, all it does is solidify Rippers. But this is the exact same problem that we had prior to WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. We had the issue of, for some reason, the women's tag team champions or the tag team titles were involved with the women's head champion, the world champion, right? As Jem dies in the corner. Why does the women's they have such little care or plan for the women's storylines right now that they have to just lump them together? Why? What the fuck? Like, we had a lovely, touchy, feel-good moment last week when fucking Belair and Rippers rocked up at NXT with, Gonzalez. I'm going to say Gonzalez, but it sounds racist. Raquel. There's Raquel Gonzalez. That's me accidentally racist, baby. So, they have a moment where all three from NXT hold up their titles, and it looks awesome. Like, that's dope. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then they're like, he's going to go hang out with fucking, Shania Payne, all right? Like, can I have my own storyline?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Nah.
No. So then why'd I
No,
beat Asuka?
it's-
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly it. But it's like that's the same thing with this whole over on SmackDown, the whole Tamina versus Nia Jax singles match thing with Tamina winning this week. Like, does it do anything? Like, what's the point? Like, you're just gonna do that
Like,
and then do nothing because they're tied up in other tag team shit. Like,
are they trying to give Tamina a bit of a singles push? Is that the idea? They're making her look big and strong so she can do something? Like, okay, but like Belair just got the title, and I'm pretty confident she's not fucking losing it to anyone. Don't get me wrong, Belair versus Tamina, that could be dope.
yeah, but I don't know. Like, I'd rather see what's coming up. Okay, obviously, currently the number one contender for Bianca Belair is Bayley.
Yes, and they have a match at Backlash.
WrestleMania Backlash. Yeah. So basically, Robert Roode, Ziggler, they're backstage having a chat. Street Profits pop in, just like, we want another shot. Then Bayley comes in like, hey, starts talking smack about Bianca Belair, while Bianca Belair's hubby has her on the phone. And he's like, oh, Bayley can't keep your name out of her mouth tonight. And Belair's like, I'll be there in a minute. And then ad break comes back and she's there. And she's like, so what were you going to say to my face, Bayley? And Bayley's like, and then just starts kissing her ass. And then, like, it's funny because that's not what it sounded like she said earlier. And then Bayley starts laughing weirdly. And initially I was like, what the frick? But I don't know. I'm really starting to enjoy Bayley.
I will put it out there. The second that Bayley cut her hair, best Bayley ever. Right now, she's good fun. This whole time that she's been heel, Bayley has been absolutely brilliant.
Oh yeah,
I'm really enjoying it.
It started rough, but it's really come into it. It's like she's really grown into it.
Yeah. And look, don't get me wrong, I do still owe Josh Robinson a lot of praise for pushing me across that line into appreciating it better and understanding it better. But it's just been good.
Yeah.
And like, granted, longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, that didn't happen by accident.
Yep, which she keeps referring to, and I love that.
As she should, because that's a good thing to have.
A huge accomplishment. But yeah, I'm so excited to see what this match is going to bring, especially because we haven't really seen them in a match yet. So it's really building that tension between them. And I love that they're telling that story. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm
last
pretty
and
keen.
least. Last and least, I say last and least because it wasn't exactly a thrilling segment. We saw another match between the Mysterios and the Alpha Academy.
What?
With the Mysterios getting the win this time. Does it do anything? Is it worth anything? Please give me some meaning.
I hate it. What the fuck?
I know, like, I can understand that they're trying to, like, they kept talking about the prospect of, like, the winner of this match possibly going on to a tag team championship, the opportunity, and they kept referencing to that, and they're like, oh, they kept referencing there hasn't been a father-son team yet, and yada yada yada. So they're really, really pushing that. So I think they're really pushing for the Mysterios to start making their way into
having
that
matches
but it's
for
been
months.
going forever.
For months and months and months.
Them.
And like winning them and then losing them and winning them and losing them. Like, why don't they just get the shot? Like, in terms of, like you said, if I have to watch some sort of variant of Dominic and Ray versus Otis and Chad Gable, I'm gonna scream. I think we've hit every we've had every possible matchup of it in at least multiple times. It's done. Someone needs to move up and getting into that picture, and I'm pretty confident that it needs to be the Mysterios. That has had the shot because the fucking Raw Dogs ain't doing shit.
Yeah, and Ray doesn't have him. It has to happen soon, otherwise he's walking out without it.
Yeah, and
like, he doesn't want to do that.
We know that Ray's going to be the face of 2K22 or whatever, but that's not going to be till about October. So make him relevant between now and then. Put him a tag title.
Exactly right.
It's very clearly not
put
them.
Put a belt on him for the release.
Exactly. Like it's not them waiting to build up Dominic. Dominic, I think, has certainly proved himself. Like the fact that they threw him straight into main against Seth Rollins, like that's trust, that's faith, and I think he delivered. So like if they're still like you're not quite title worthy, mate, I'm like, what the fuck? Then what do you expect?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. It's out of control.
Yeah. I think I'd rather see them start to take on others. I think that's where this needs to go now because it's really kind of falling flat with this whole Alpha Academy thing. So, absolutely shattered that Tucker was released recently because I really miss Heavy Machinery. They were an amazing tag team, and it's a disappointment that they're gone.
It is. However, like one thing we need to pay attention to, ladies and gentlemen, is Impact had their big pay-per-view over the weekend where Kenny Omega became Impact champion. So he's now got he's now got 3 title belts. He's being the collector. But in there, they had a little promo for Slammiversary, which is essentially their WrestleMania. It's July. And funny enough, it's just as a lot of no compete clauses come up. And in their footage, there's some old footage of Samoa Joe. There's an Australian flag.
What?
There's a lot of little things there. Is it? Who was? I want to say it's Ibushi, but it wasn't Ibushi. It was some guy from NJPW. But look, I'm just saying, if we may have to at least pay attention to Impact's pay-per-views, is all I'm saying. Because if they're getting as tidy as they are with AEW right now, and if they have the Iconics, we might have to watch Impact.
Yes, 110%.
Yeah. Anyway, that was, speaking of watching Impact, because it may be more fun than Raw by then. SmackDown, at least, still pretty good.
Yeah.
Raw, not so much. Yeah. I didn't even watch it all, and I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad a little bit.
Overall, if we're going to do our patented rating system of the Kurtz, collectively, I think it's easier to rate them these days.
Yeah.
And collectively, I'd probably go a Kurt and a bar. I think it was really, really well put together this week. SmackDown just pushed it over the line that little bit.
Yeah, SmackDown.
That promo.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm going to cut you off. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was with Daniel Bryan and Cesaro and the way it planned out throughout the night and how everything else just fit in with it. I think that really just pushed it over the edge to give it that bar. Got to give it the bar for Cesaro.
Yeah, now I'm in a hard spot. Obviously, not having watched all of Raw, it's not fair for me to give it a rating. I can't do that. If I haven't watched all of it, I can't make that claim. But I will give SmackDown like a Kurt and a bar. I fucking enjoyed the shit out of SmackDown. Like, I watched the whole thing and I was engaged. I was enjoying it. Like, as I sit here and pull apart some stuff, I'm like, eh. But, like, it's all about how I felt leaving it when I was watching it and when I left it. And I did. I felt great.
I was giddy the entire time. I was in chat with you guys, like, just screaming words. I was literally jumping in. It really did physically get me involved again. And I was like, yes, this is why I love this.
Yeah, man. Like, Aleister Black being back is right on track. It might be my crack, I'm glad he never got the sack. I'm very happy to see more Aleister around. And obviously that whole opening segment was just fantastic. Raw, from what I saw with that, because I watched about an hour and a half, just shy of an hour and a half of it, and I was like, because I think I actually said to my wife, because as we were making dinner, and I'm like, are we getting T-Bar and Maze versus Drew, and that's what I just finished the episode on. Gross. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there, Mace and T-Bar are getting like more screen time than the tag team champions right now. What does that say?
I know, it's ridiculous.
What the fuck does that say about Raw right now?
Yeah, it's not good.
Anyway, that does bring us to the end of this episode. Let us know what you thought of Raw and SmackDown in the comments below. It's a big discussion. But this wrestling conversation comes at you every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, you can. Head over to facebook.com/groups/popcultures, Twitter, Discord, Instagram. All those links are in the down below area. If you want to talk to us, Twitter is probably the best space. Both Jem and I are on there all the time. Twitter's good fun, and it's under our names. I'm at HaggardMC, HAGGARDMC, and Jem is at Jem with a J, the vampire. If you want to watch the show, join the conversation as it happens. Head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where you can watch us record this show live. You can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this wrestling pod. If you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopcultures, as well as our merchandise store, popcultures.com/shop. We buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Turns out I remembered at that time. Thank you very much, as always, Jem. Thank you for biting the bullet and
Always
watching the rest of Raw for me. I was like, I'm going to rely solely on Jem today.
It was good. Oh, it was worth it.
I'm sure it was. Until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I'm Jem.
We'll see you then.